Let
Oh,
me
we
poke
have
my.
Fantastic Four against a fighting deck.
I think that
with
for that
Dracula's
fantastic.
armory.
Yeah, using the armory.
So Fantastic Four, that's definitely AJ's deck. AJ was the one who made it to the finals in the last tournament. In the hand, I don't even have to go in there. I know these decks. The Stargemmer's hand deck is Greg Costa's deck.
Oh, Greg versus
So
AJ.
both of these players made it to the top 8 at the OP Cup. Great decks. AJ's Fantastic Four deck, that team has historically not been one that top 8er has been as strong. So for people who don't know, the inherent ability on the base, if you play the Fantastic Four's home base, you can shift. Sorry, hold on. You can shift any attack made on one of the frontline characters to any other character on the team if you then block with a power card. So it gives you the ability to kind of control where it is. It also allows you to play characters where their grids don't match up because you can always shift to the defense. If your characters start to die, it gets a little bit awkward at that point. But yeah, the
Sorry, Joe.
go ahead.
Actually, there's a second part of that inherent that says that they cannot be cumulative or spectrum KO'd by grid less than 2, I believe.
No, I think it's 4 or less.
4 or less. That's even better. So there are ways where you can let things hit and be comfortable knowing that they're not going to die as easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the thing to know is you can't shift it and let it hit. But for example, I believe Invisible Woman can't be spectrumed in this version by fighting or strength power cards. However, the important thing to note is multi-power power cards don't qualify for that protection. So if they have a lot of multi-power cards as their low power card hits, those will still spectrum KO. I'm trying to see what it looks like AJ's playing Age of Apocalypse. I know we've got a little glare on that bottom corner.
Yeah.
Um,
So the other thing is to take note of that they're both playing the Fatal Attractions mission.
Yep.
So,
both going to be looking forward to using that event that stops energy. So that's going to whiff both on this one. Actually, is Greg using any heroes? So AJ's activator would be hit with that.
Do we have somebody there, Joe, to set the timer?
Yep, Greg is on the timer. So, well, Greg is actually playing the match. So let me make sure that.
Thank you.
No, I can see him getting up. He's going to start it and then go back to his table. So one thing that's interesting I hadn't thought about with AJ's deck, so that event set, Fatal Attractions, one of the missions it has is no special cards can be played. That allows AJ to put all his power cards at the top of the deck. If he gets there's an event that lets you put 4 cards from your deck on top. Both players will do that, but AJ can then put the subsequent event, no special cards may be played, plus an 8, a 7, and a 6 power card. AJ will still have the ability to shift into that defense where his opponent isn't going to be able to get that special card defense, and it's going to make it a lot harder for them to defend. And I'm willing to bet that that's the strategy we didn't get to see a lot of because AJ ended up on a bet 7. We didn't get to watch him play a whole game last time. It'll be interesting. I'm really curious if Greg is running the no specials event where he's got Starjammers that have some really big 1 per decks, and he's running the hand has some good specials that came out, and he's got a lot of defensive specials. I bet he's not even running that specific event.
I wouldn't think so either. But he almost certainly, looking at his team, is using the no energy icon to attack.
Absolutely. Keith, what were you going to say?
No, just that one of the other things with Greg's deck is in the no energy is I don't know that any of the people on his team, aside from the one Starjammer special, have any specials that are going to have the energy icon in them either.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Silver Sable, but you wouldn't play him. So AJ looks to have 1 discard, a discard of a 4. AJ does get that no energy power cards right off the bat. Thing plays his, I forget the name of that special, but it's essentially the same as Spawn's Finite Power. Get a draw 3, an 8 strength power card goes down that does follow up Invisible Woman's Teamwork. Greg gets Stars and Garters, which is a card we saw last tournament. You put it out, it remains out for the rest of the game, and you can shift any attack to it to avoid a premier piece of defense because it carries over from battle to battle. Greg's also got his negate. He's got a 9 or less avoid from Silver Sable. So Greg's definitely got a really good defensive shell right away, but he's not representing a lot of offensive power.
Well, don't forget he can't use the multi-power power card to attack because of the event.
Right, that gives great point, Keith. So that gives AJ the ability to choose to target another character if he decides he wants to go for the Starjammers. So let's see what he ventures. It looks like he's going 2. So AJ's going to a lot more conservative than we saw him in the finals.
Yeah,
a smidge, I believe. Yes.
Looks like Greg's just going to go the 1, but he says he's in. So AJ leads out with that 4. He's going to poke a little bit, see what we've got for defense here.
okay.
Going right after the hand, attacking his only 8 ranker. So
Blocks of the 5 fighting.
And also, I didn't realize, I guess, because it was placed that AJ did catch his own teamwork with his event.
Oh, interesting. Yes, I did not pick up on that. So Greg throws an ally, which allows a teammate to play a special, and he gets that defensive card right out. That's pretty much a first play anytime you have Stars and Garters, but it's always great when you can throw that little offensive hit before you put it out there. It keeps some pressure on. Now, AJ fires back with a 5. He's keeping that 8 so he can shift to the defense. But he also knows AJ used his 5, so to defend it, he's going to get a gain in venture, even if he uses a 6 power card. Greg puts his card down and is hovering next to his missions. We may see a concede. Nope.
Yeah, he wants to keep the KO pressure on Thing.
Well, that's good. It's interesting that he chose to target Thing, considering Namor would come up and still be able to use those 8 strengths.
Could you see what AJ blocked with? I couldn't see what he blocked with.
So the way he's not physically moving the hit, but he put a power card down in front of Invisible Woman. So whatever he blocked with, it was a power card that he shifted it into with Invisible Woman to block. Now AJ's got the choice if he's going to stay. He's out of cards in hand. He's
Interesting.
That is an interesting play, yeah, for sure.
So the thingy right now is he wants to play that draw 3 and secure that 2 venture, but he's trying to see if Greg he's trying to fish out that negate. So it looks like Greg took the lockout and passed. Great play by Greg. He's making him use his resources, and I think we'll just see the concede now at this. Actually, no. Greg's got 3 venture on the board.
Yeah, the two venture from Invisible Woman.
Oh, that's not a +3, so they're tied right now in venture.
That's a push. Yeah.
Interesting. That's really cool. I totally forgot. See, I don't play those in my deck, so sometimes I always just assume it's the 5 to use +3, but Greg and Dave both like to play those extra allies to keep the special card speed up when they play.
Putting a couple of allies in your deck, I am a big proponent of that. You need to be able to fill up those universe card slots.
Oh, and just keep in mind they got the draw the set the 4 event card, which looking at the draw 3, wow. I mean this could be the big betting one for AJ.
Yeah, so AJ will look. Go ahead, Shawn.
No, I was going to say best laid plans. He's definitely going to be stacking the next hand. You're going to see some fireworks.
I would be shocked if you don't see him. He's going so fast. He's got. Let's see if we can see what he's getting. I think AJ's going to get power card. Yeah. So AJ's doing exactly what we thought. I think he's going to put the no special cards up top. He's going to go with his power cards that give him the full team defense. And he's just got to find a way to be able to draw cards next battle. I don't think he will play that draw 3 this battle, because it's so powerful to have those power cards next fight. That's my theory.
No, I agree. I think he's going to play something to try that Greg can't ignore, not to negate, and then he'll be clear to throw the 3.
Well, I mean, don't forget that he could bet 5 for the win and only give Greg 3.
But Greg would get, if he goes for the win now, Greg's going to get 3 of the cards that he put up top.
Yeah, that's
if he realizes it, though, and make sure that if he say Greg puts it in an event, that it's the 4th card, not in the top 3. So that if he draws it, he doesn't draw the dead event. Assuming that AJ would bet 5 and then Greg could draw 3.
Oh, absolutely. So that's an interesting event because it's sort of hedging on what's going to happen next time. I mean, you're right, though. He could go the other way. He could just put 3 really powerful specials up like Things 10 and just try to force him to use that negate. Where Greg is any heroes, the only other negate he's going to have access to is his any hero Merlin. So he's got the 10 already, so he's going to be able to put that pressure on.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hill for Greg to climb out of.
Greg, don't forget, Greg's got the Stars and Garters, so the Stars and Garters can shift and block that 10. Oh, that's a great card.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, that card that just got placed to the hand is Madame Gao. That card targets a character as an attack, forces them to discard a power card, then it's made on a teammate. It acts identical to the power card it discarded. It's supposed to represent the mystical energy of the hand, making one of your allies turn on the other one.
Yeah, so while AJ definitely has some bombs showing, Greg does have a couple of sneaky things he can do to kind of keep the battle even.
Now, interesting, I might actually take back what I said the strategy was. Considering it's a push and AJ already has 2, I think AJ's really going to be looking to do what you guys were saying. I think he's going to try to get that draw 3 through, because he's going to have to bet at least 1 more. So he's going to have a big risk here of whatever he's going to do this hand.
Going first is definitely going to be huge for AJ because he's got the 2 teamworks that can each have full backups.
I can't see how many cards are in AJ's hand. Is it 1 or 2? I think Greg is actually up on cards also. Very interesting game. Very interesting game.
Yeah, it looks like Greg has 2 in his hand. AJ might have 1 in his hand, giving Greg more options. He does have Stars and Garters placed. But yeah, I think with AJ having a draw 3 and he just engineered the top 4 cards of his deck, he might just want to stay in and get access to those now.
I'm really surprised he's going for jammers. I would think with all that teammate pressure, he would try to go after Beast and just use non-specials to get rid of that negate.
Yeah.
So it looks like AJ, I think they just went 1 more. So we're looking at Greg's bet 2, AJ currently has 3. Other ally from Greg, so he will be following up with a special. I think you can expect to see the Madame Gao because there's only going to be 1 power
and
card.
AJ probably saw that coming, so that's why he chose to use the 6 to block it.
Oh.
So this is Bakudo. This allows Greg to draw a card. If it's an attack, the hand gets to throw it immediately, even if it's not one of their cards. And if it's not an attack, he gets to put it in his hand. And also, Greg is -3 to venture. So he'll throw that 6. That's a 6 any power card. I'll be honest, I think Greg just has the venture heat here.
Yeah, he was able to get ahead. He made AJ use that 6. AJ didn't want to lose that 6 to Madame Gao, so good plays.
I'm a little confused oh, he threw the 1 as Starjammers. Greg used the Stars and Garters to keep Starjammers alive. The 1 was a teamwork follow-up, so it was coming through as a 2. It was getting the +1 off that level 6 teamwork.
That's big value for AJ's 1 to be able to get rid of Stars and Garters.
This is a little brutal for AJ because
he's got to use the avoid the power card for 1.
And I think
no, was it the lockout? Okay,
so
no, Disney.
Just the Street Profit EE. That's great. They're both having to use really good defense on little pokey 1 power cards.
Well, and the other thing to note is that he just sucked out the negate, so now he can, in all likelihood, get that draw 3 out when he wants.
Well, I think he's going to do it right now. I think he was sacrificing things so he could draw the 3. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
he's really going in on making sure he gets this venture advantage right at the beginning.
He had showed the 8 was the dupe was
unplayable because things go ahead.
Well, It's interesting to see what his next two cards are. If Joe called it and he just put an 8-7-6 with the no specials event, so he could just have a 7-6 in his hand,
which doesn't win him the venture. I don't think he's got 8 points on the board right now, and a 6 teamwork and a 2. He's got 2 from Invisible Woman, so he's essentially at 10. And if he's got a 6 and a 7, let's do some. As we know, I'm great at basic math. That's another 13. So that's 23 to Greg's 12, 13, 14, 15, 21. So Greg's already at 24 with a 7 showing.
Don't forget the Invisible Woman. And did you add the Bakudo?
Yes, I did. Yep, for both of them. So I think gotcha. Greg is just mathematically ahead of him. So now he's just going to bank on. He's got to take out the Starjammers with that 6 and then defend the 7. So I think he's going to lose the venture, but he'll trade Thing for Starjammers. The only thing that I would be thinking if I was in AJ's shoes is he's already thrown both 1-per-decks for Thing. So a lot of Thing's heat is already gone. So probably it's a much better trade because we haven't seen the draw 3, the Raza, or the 11 for Starjammers, or an 8. So if Greg chooses to stay in here, he's going to probably lose jammers and lose access to a lot of the bombs.
What was the any power card on Mr. Fantastic?
It's the 6. It's the Zeus, and exactly what we thought.
Yeah. So Greg decided that that just wasn't a valuable trade. He got rid of Thing. Namor comes up. Thing's bombs are gone, and he hasn't seen a single Starjammers card. So it sucks to walk away when you're winning. But I think he made the right play by not sacrificing all his most powerful 1-per-decks.
And I agree. I think if it would have been a little bit of a different situation if AJ had jammed 2 or 3 more venture and was going to get 5 up top, but to only end up being at a 3-2 difference and you've taken out one of his big characters and one of his only 8 strengths, I think you got to just go into the next hand and.
Yeah. Tournament announcement, guys. Phil Miller just won his match against Justin in round 2.
Ooh, nice. Congratulations to Phil. So that puts Phil at 2-0. I'm not really sure. Why is Greg shuffling his deck here?
Because of the Bakudo. The magic gets shuffled back into the deck.
No. So playing that Bakudo.
Oh, no.
I wonder if you realized that. So he had. So for those watching, Greg had engineered the 4 cards at the top of his deck, and then Bakudo forced him to reshuffle it. That Bakudo card that let him take a card and attack with it. One of the things the hand does is every turn that reshuffles unless it's negated. So that's the gift that keeps giving, except at that point, just now, it very much took away.
Yes, the gift turned out to be socks.
Wow, he dunked a lot of cards, too. AJ dropped like 3 or 4 cards. There are no specials, so he has to get rid of all the activators.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So I guess they kind of both got screwed by that event.
Yeah.
So also, again, for the audience, if you play the event no specials, maybe played this battle, the event reads, affected specials are not discarded. So you can keep them in your hand and bluff, or you can place them. With activators, even though you're going to fetch a special from underneath your battle site, in that those specials wouldn't have to be discarded if they were in hand, the activators themselves are unplayable. So underneath that event, you do have to discard them. And unfortunately, the event targeted the person who put it in the deck more than it did the opponent. And I'm not going to question it. AJ took this exact deck to the finals in a very competitive field. So and he won his first round.
So he definitely knows what he's doing when he's driving this deck. It does have some tricky things, but he gets a lot of success.
I mean, you think he's going to have to bet big on this because.
So I think I misread that. It looks like AJ's got 4 in the top. He must have bet 2. Greg still let him take it, but I think he just bet 3 for the win and gave Greg.
He bet 4 because he's drawn 2 cards.
He drew 2?
He drew 2 cards, so he must have been 4. Yeah, because he did 2 the first, 1 the second. So yeah, it's 4 for the win.
And I get again what AJ's doing. Like, Greg can't use any of his special cards. So Greg does the typical 2. And AJ's going to try to punish him, take out the Starjammers.
Yeah, it's the only thing going for Greg. He does have that Dracula's armor. That helps. That doesn't happen.
It's coming in like a 9 or 10.
And that's really unfortunate because had he been able to block the first attack, the Dracula's Armory that gives him access to basic universe cards, he could have used the 5 any power and defended the 8. But no, the 8 was a 9 because it was a teamwork follow-up. So there was that was actually in that situation with the 7 placed, he would have had to have had a 6 in his hand.
Yeah. He just threw the 8, the unblockable 8 KO on Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Did AJ concede?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He that's interesting.
All right. Well, we'll see now. I have to say it looks to me like
wow. That's 2 dupe the Invisible Woman avoids. Oof.
So Invisible Woman, one of his only 2 characters left now, is not going to have more than the avoid that's placed on her. Almost no one plays more than 3 of those.
And she still probably will have the 9. That's a good one.
No card with the energy icon.
Comes back again, and this time it's definitely going to hurt AJ. That's interesting that Greg just discarded a second 8 any power. Normally you only see one of those in the deck.
Yeah. I know one of the deck building theories Greg and Dave like to really, they think a lot more about how many cards in their deck they only have 1 copy of. So I know talking to them about deck building, they'll look at their deck and say, I want at least, out of a 60 card deck, if they're building it, they build a little bit bigger. They want at least 25 of those cards to be individual actions that don't duplicate.
He might be betting for the win right here. The no energy. He's got the Bakudo, so he already knows he's going to draw another card that he can use to attack.
Yeah, he's in a very good position right now.
He does it. No. Oh, is he?
You think he's deciding if he's betting for the win, which I think he is.
Is his hand coming off it? So he tapped it on his side. Now he's tapping it off screen. He must have done it because I just saw AJ bet.
Did AJ just concede?
Yeah, that's game, right?
Oh no, I guess he wasn't going for the win. So that
didn't go for the win.
Wow.
It was just a big bet by Greg. So that leaves Greg at 4-2-1.
He's in a very good position right now.
Yeah, he's got a commanding lead.
He was able to withstand AJ's trickery, and he's definitely got the big stack now.
And not to count AJ completely out, but one thing that's a problem is the closer you get to the power pack, Bakudo becomes a card that just hurts more and more. Just gets to get 3 venture every single time, and if you make it to power pack, every single card, it's always going to be an attackable power card. So it really, the hand, if they make it to the power pack and that card is still in circulation, it's pretty hard to lose at that point with them in the game.
Absolutely. I think they're probably the best power pack.
He is betting 4 for the win.
There's AJ draws 1. All right, AJ draws his 2. Looks like he drops 1 activator. He does have a nice full hand. He's got that any power teamwork. He's got the 9.
He's got the Namor lockout.
Yeah, he's
the energy armor. He's not in horrible shape.
Yeah, he's not in horrible shape. This will be a good battle.
So Greg's gonna start it up.
Oof. Oh wow.
No.
So that card says only attacks with an energy icon may be made against Namor, and he used it to block the Grim Reaper, which Grim Reaper is a version of the Legacy Power Leech. Can make you discard up to 4 cards of an icon that Greg chooses. It's the best use that's ever been in the history of Overpower for that Namor blockout.
It's interesting that he must want to get rid of that 8 for the venture, but if you're going for the win, you gotta attack the max 6.
Well, I think
also the Silver Sable, who's got the only teammate avoid too. So you want to make sure everything's gonna have a chance at landing.
Yeah, I think in this situation, if Greg's going for the win, I would go for Silver Sable. And
sorry, doesn't Greg have Silver Sable and AJ is playing?
Right,
invisible.
but Greg's going for the win, so I think AJ wants to. AJ, if he's got that Silver Sable Aboid, AJ wants to just kill her first, so it's a dead card.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I was saying that it's interesting that Greg targeted Namor instead of targeting Invisible Woman.
Well, the Invisible Woman could have the Plane Avoid, where that's the only Namor card. So I mean, maybe figure 6 of 1. You know,
it's also a situation too where AJ playing that as a card for Neymar when Neymar is in reserve, no one does that. Like I wouldn't have been expecting that either.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people, especially Shawn, you're someone who always likes to include one of those avoids. I would have been scared he had the Invisible Woman avoid.
No, yeah, there's no way of knowing that AJ had had that card coming from reserve. That's a great point.
So they're calling for a judge call right now.
Oh, so he wants to use the Madame Gao to take the 6 and target his teammate. But since the Madame Gao acts identical to the 6, can he target Namor, who is only able to be targeted by energy attacks?
Yeah, basically, I think the ruling he's asking for is, can he just do the discard part without doing the subsequent attack? He wants to discard the 6 intellect, but he cannot use the 6 intellect to attack Neymar. So the question is, I'm assuming is, can he do the discard and then it would just fizzle out the attack? The truth is, I don't know the answer to that. That's a complicated judge call, so we're going to leave that to our floor judges to decide how it goes.
Yeah. It also says you have to make the attack on a teammate, not just make an attack, meaning you couldn't, say, throw it against his own battle site.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the question is, can he do it and then not do the other part? Because it doesn't say may. It says this acts identical and makes a...
Now, Joe, who are the judges today at Valhalla?
I believe it's Phil, Dave, and Larry? I don't know. I'll find out after.
Just for the viewers.
Yeah. I will know for round 3 who they are. So
that inclusion of the Namor card is very good because the only thing Greg has with an energy is that one ally card. So
yeah.
So they're going to rule, it looks like, that he cannot play that without doing the follow-up.
There's the ally card.
Oh.
Or
they ruled that he could.
Okay. And he used the beast activator to oh my gosh.
So he's doing the double lockout.
Wow.
Greg's still showing a teamwork and we don't know what's in his hand.
He has a teamwork and he does have the armory that can
nice, and he can fusion the teamwork. And disorient opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has teamwork and the follow-up power card that can target Invisible Woman, and he also has the basic universe. So he still has options to attack Invisible Woman.
So right now, Greg is up on the venture. Oh, 3rd teamwork. That's crazy.
Greg does have a lot more cards in his hand, but he just doesn't have the options to attack.
Well, the good news for Greg is, I don't think I would have done that.
No, absolutely not. He used it for defense instead of an offense.
Especially because it was an energy, so he could have thrown it at Namor.
He also could have used he could have used one of those basic universes with his 7 to attack Invisible Woman.
He did just use the draw 3.
I think he's fishing for a beast negate to try to get rid of one of the lockouts.
He had to pitch Raza.
Oh, the other thing is, don't forget with the using that thing for the defense from the other thing means that he can't then use one of his universe cards with that 7 fighting to have potentially gotten around the beast acrobatics as well.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I did see he has Hades in his hand. Did Greg venture more than 2?
I think he bet 4 for the win.
Oh, then in that case, he's definitely another dead card in his hand.
No, he can't do that. He already used one.
Yeah, it's supposed to only be once a battle.
And why? And he can use it because he has a 7 in his hand.
So he's flipping this off Bakudo. He was asking if he could use the training, but so now technically I believe that 7. Oh, and he can't put it in his hand now because it is a duplicate. So it ended up being he gets the 3 venture for Bakudo, but was forced to discard the 7 because it was unplayable. Oh, Greg almost just put out the handshake to concede for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, he realized that the game's not over, but...
Is AJ going for the win? It looks like AJ... I'm a little confused because it's a little hard to see the venture, but it looks like Greg is going to end up in a position where...
I think it's 2-3. No, I think it's 2-2-3. Is Greg's venture?
Yeah. It's
then 2-3-2. So venture wise, they're in a pretty even spot. Yep, AJ's managed to pull this back around. I'm really surprised here.
Yeah, we counted him out, and that was his battle to win for sure. That's anybody's game. It was just whose deck has more juice in it.
They both have to be getting pretty close to power pack. AJ drops 2 cards for Mr. Fantastic. Greg drops a Starjammers draw 3, a Starjammers 11. The Sable Avoid.
Yeah, there's the juice that we were talking about. Unfortunately, they're dead.
Now, one thing, I'm not sure what AJ plays as his 1 per deck off that site, but he does have a Morph activator in his hand, it looks like.
Oh, I really hope. I hope it's the copy a special.
That would be cool, but...
Copy Bakudo?
Oh.
Wow, yeah, maybe.
I think he's probably, with this deck, though, just playing the Avoid cannot be attacked from X-Man.
Oh, the lockout. Yeah, that's safe. Age of Apocalypse is always a interesting choice because Blink didn't technically get added to the game, so your starting battle site only has 5 instead of the 6, and there are a lot of battle sites that do have that lockout.
Yeah, it's definitely true. But Age of Apocalypse is still interesting because you do get the Holocaust Tuck. So you still have a little bit of that venture control, and that can absolutely be a game-swinging card.
But then again, X-Men and Holocaust are on Onslaught Citadel with a 6th character. You might just like looking at Blink and Morph.
It's like Greg's deciding if he's venturing 1 or 2.
He has a negate place, but AJ doesn't have any specials showing, and he does have 2
teamworks with
backups. 2 teamworks with their follow-ups. So
yeah, you have to block this because you're not blocking a 9.
Have we seen Greg's any Hero Avoid get used this game? I feel like we saw it earlier.
Yes, I believe that was in the 1st or 2nd hand.
So he blocks with his 7 and blocks with his 8.
Yeah, so hopefully you're probably going to see, because he bet 1, he's just going to run. He doesn't have the defense to attack, and then he's going to get hit with a teamwork string, so he has to run and hope that his
looks like he's throwing this card.
Not listening to the stream.
Oh, the 7, interesting. Okay, you get that second color. Definitely.
He may be banking on the fact that AJ's not showing a Spectrum or a cumulative KO right now, and he can play the Bakudo, maybe get a kill shot. He doesn't need he might be able to cumulative KO or Invisible Woman.
Yeah, so
we know both of those are unblockable. AJ does what we assume he does, and he paints up the hand. Now the question is, Greg does the Bakudo.
He's going for it.
It's a big gamble.
Good for Greg. He needs to get rid of that +2.
Keeping us in suspense. He's trying to decide who he's going to attack. So it must not be a clear kill shot. I'm going to guess he's gotten some kind of... Oh, he has to put it in his hand. It was not an attack. Oof.
So he didn't. He threw the 8 instead of what's in his hand. So he might be sitting on defense.
Is that an 8 or a 7? I can't actually see.
It. Actually, I've never seen that power card before. I guess they don't.
I think it's a custom one.
Yeah, they don't have the no alt art in effect at this tournament.
Well, it's supposed to be, but they don't go through everyone's deck.
Well, I mean, AJ and Phil drove together, I'm guessing, and Phil left his whole deck, so they probably are just like, I'm playing the cards I have.
Oh, the morph.
Oh, he tried to... So he did have the morph 1 per deck. He tried to copy the 8 and throw it, and it looks like Greg had the negate off the Bakudo. So 14, 15, 16,
so he
17.
gets to keep his...
So I think AJ... I think we're going to see AJ move his missions down. I think Greg won that one.
8-7-2 to 8-6-2. Yeah, he won by... No, well, he got +2.
7-6-2, I think.
But then the Bakudo, and yeah, he won.
They are both going to their power.
And some. Oh yeah, so Bakudo is. Oof.
Now AJ is gonna.
I mean, that means that the Bakudo that's no less than a 4-point swing, because if he draws the 1, then it's +4.
He has to kill hand. That's what AJ's going for here. Is AJ has to hope he kills the hand, and AJ's going to have a couple of rough draws while he's filtering out to the dead pile all those power cards for the fantastic. So I saw him. He filtered out one of his 7 intellects. That goes to the dead pile.
5 cards.
So he's got a 1.
Looks like a 1, a 4, a 5, and an 8. No, no, that's another. What is this? The steel is a 3 fighting, right? Or is it a 2 fighting?
Oh, there's the Bakudo.
He's got Bakudo. He places it. Greg's in a really good spot in the power pack just because he still has that training card.
Oh, nice.
So if he doesn't draw his 8, he still has the defense.
Yeah, and look at that. He's finally got something he can.
See, that's not what AJ wants to see. How many cards was he in the power pack?
4, I believe 4. I think AJ. Greg was in 4. Yeah.
I think AJ does not have any special cards in his hand. I think it's down to just power cards. So
looks like it's 4.
I don't think this is for the win, but it looks like Greg knows to just put the pressure on.
Yeah,
draws a 4. He's conceding the game.
The
game? Just the match.
Just the battle? Oh, just the battle. Yeah, I don't see any way. Unfortunately, I don't see any way
initiative. With initiative, there's no way that he can block that 9 on Beast. He'll lose his 4 and the inheritance.
Well, no. More importantly, he doesn't need to lead with that. He'll do the ally and then the Bakudo, so that even if the hand dies, he still gets the use out of it, and then the Beast can throw the 9.
So Greg, who's on the right, is also our timekeeper. So he hopped up just to check the time real quick. So they're at their 5-minute warning. I don't think this is a match that's going to go to time. I don't see. I mean, AJ does have the added advantage that he can shift those power cards and still block the 8s. But
but the 9's unblockable, and that's KO Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Right. Or he could, honestly, if it were me, and you guys can disagree, I would throw the 9 on Amar, and then I would just use a 6 with the, that's the +2. So I would use a 7 with the +2. I would just 2 hit.
So it looks like Greg is only pitching an 8 and a 3. So he's got 5 in hand. He's got 4 placed with this is all but over for AJ, and and kudos to both of them because it is another great match.
Yeah, I think he would need about 4 for the win, right? Because there's 2 in the bottom.
Yeah, this was a great match. They just ran out of it. AJ's deck is just got to the power pack. Bakudo was still there. It wasn't the character he targeted, and Bakudo is just so strong in the power pack.
He's got 3 in the bottom. Okay.
So he can't go for the win.
Yeah.
AJ draws 1. Puts it back on top of his deck. What is going on over there? Does AJ have 2 decks going? I don't know.
A little update. Dave McMillan lost to John Keffer, and Derek Bertrand won against Larry.
John Keffer getting a victory. We knew he's going to have a lot of success today. Apparently, Dave wasn't watching the stream and didn't know what he had.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that Greg just accidentally misplayed that because he played the ally off a beast and then played a beast special card.
Oh.
So are they calling a renege? What's happening?
They just didn't notice. And that happens sometimes. At high-level play, that's what you deal with. So Greg plays the Bakudo. He draws the 4 multi off it. That's really bad. So now any fighting hit, which is Greg's main type, as soon as Greg gets a 6 or... Yeah. There we go.
Take the hand. Good
put
game,
it up.
guys.
Just put it over the top. Great game. Great game. Right down on time, too. Oh, Craig gives the thumbs up to the camera.
Yeah, he knew he has eyes on him. Good stuff.
Greg's really hoping to. Greg has made the top 8 now. This last season, he's been really bumping up and making the top 8 a lot, but he loses in the first round every time. So today he said, I spoke to him before the event. He's really wants to make the top 8 and at least get to that quarterfinal round. So that's his goal. So
I was there when we were teaching him, and his experience with Magic, he has become a very consistent player, and it's really cool to see him just like go from maybe getting 2 wins to making the top 8.
Absolutely, that's been the funnest thing about the league coming back lately is how many newer players. AJ was the same way. You know, AJ a couple years back was, you know, coming back to the game and was not having as much success. And now we're seeing AJ get second place and make the top of a lot of events too. I love seeing that.
Make it to the finals, always be in contention. Well, let's hope they both have a good rest of the day, and hopefully Greg can get over that bump of making it past the quarterfinals.
All right.
The rest of the matches haven't completed yet, but we do have Greg Costa 2-0, Ty Bertrand 2-0, Phil Miller 2-0.
Nice.
Greg's in good company. I'm not going to give anything away till we see it on camera, but you know, Ty has got a really. All I'll say is he is playing his Dracula. He's a big fan of Dracula. No one else is really going for him, but he's got a completely new version of it that I chatted with him about before the event, and you know, I may see if we can just get him on camera for the 3rd round since he's the only other undefeated we haven't seen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go check on things in the other room. You guys can feel free to keep chatting some Overpower, and I'll let you know when we're about to start the next round.
Great. Thanks, Joe.
Great.
Step away for a moment just to run my dog out between matches. I'll be right back.
Good. I'm going to stop the recording for right now.